Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer, sponsored by Arnold Clark. I'm Peter Martin, delighted to have your company on this Monday. The guests in the studio, as ever, Ruffy is alongside me and sporting another new jumper. How can you keep this going for the full season? Barry Ferguson here with us to discuss all the news across Scotland. Yeah, lots to discuss, lots to get our teeth into, a few controversial things happening and some cracking goals over the weekend in the Premiership. The scores across Friday and Saturday, it's Hibs 3, Kilmarnock 2, Livingston edging Hamilton out by a 1-0. Hearts 5 wins out of 5 with that win over Motherwell. Rangers getting the victory comfortably against Dundee. You couldn't split them at McDermott Park, and the same situation in Paisley for St Mirren against Celtic. Here's the story of that weekend. Kearney's first game in charge of St Mirren ended in a credible draw against the 10 men of Celtic. Olivier Ncham sent off for a second bookable offence. This one ended stalemate 0-0. Stevie Mallon scored a spectacular free kick to give Hibs the lead. David Gray doubled the home side's advantage after 23 minutes. Killie staged a fight back through Eamon Brophy with his third goal of the season. Greg Stewart levelled the match at 2-2 with a superb shot just before half-time. Kirk Broadfoot's foul on Jamie McLaren was controversial, but Florian Camberry's penalty was decisive to give Hibs the win. Stephen Naismith capitalised on Carol McHugh's short back pass to give Hearts victory at Fir Park. The Jam Tarts top of the league, 5 wins from 5. Stephen Lawless's superb strike inside 3 minutes secured all 3 points for Livingston in a 1-0 win over Hamilton Accies. Rangers romped to victory with Lassana Koulibaly giving the home side the perfect start after 4 minutes. Ryan Kent made it 2 after 14 minutes. The game was done and dusted on the stroke of half-time as James Tavernier converted a penalty to make it 3-0. Kenny Miller received a red card late in the second half on his return to Ibrox. Glenn Middleton grabbed his first goal for the club to make it 4-0 and leave Dundee rooted at the bottom of the table. A Liam Craig corner was converted by Irishman David McMillan to give Saints the lead in this match. Niall McGinn's spectacular free kick salvaged a point for Dons in the second half, although they did have a strong penalty claim in the dying minutes. Yeah, there you have it. That's the story of the weekend. I'm going to start with Hearts because I think it's worthy of mentioning. They're top of the league, 5 wins out of 5, Ruffy. They're going great guns. Even when they're not playing at the top, they're still winning.
No, I don't think they were great at the weekend. I think Motherwell had as many chances, but at the end of the day, they got the goal that mattered, and you'll take that. You don't mind getting into a game and not playing well if you can come away with the 3 points, so that's all I'll be worried about. Yeah, Carol McHugh's back pass certainly didn't do Trevor Carson any favours. When you actually see on social media the photograph that he posted of his leg, Ikpeazu left it in there, but Stevie Naismith still capitalised, played to the whistle.
Yeah, in terms of the pass back, I think the striker's got to go for the ball. I don't think he's went in to hurt the goalkeeper, but he's come away with a bad one. And Nazy, he's took his form for the international into the game at the weekend and scored another goal. It just shows you Hearts weren't in top form, but they've went to a place where it's no easy to go and get a win. So again, five wins out of 5. Superb start for Hearts. Yeah, but nice to see Craig Levein in the stand. So he was back watching the team. I think after the game and the win, the last thing he would want to see is Jimmy Dunn saying, yep, Hearts can still stay at the top to the end of the season. I mean, if they keep this run up, suddenly the momentum, suddenly the belief, but it's great to see them out there in front with a points advantage.
Yeah, and light of what had happened in the last couple of seasons, obviously with the sort of a wee skirmish with Hibs being, who's the best team in the city and all that. I think them sitting up the top of the league now, and Hibs have kept themselves very quiet. I'm sure the Hearts supporters will be enjoying every minute of it, but they'll know they've got massive big games coming up on the fixture list, and these are the kind of games that will test and let us know if they can stay there. Yeah, great viewing for Hearts fans, Barry. 5 points of an advantage over Celtic and Livingston.
Yeah, but it sure is. Again, with the boy coming out and saying that they can go and win the league. Listen, the confidence is high just now. I would rather they kind of go round about these sort of questions ever they're asked.
Yeah.
Just
if you were his teammate or his captain, would you say, look, Jimmy, keep a lid on it?
Yep, I would. Listen, just say, look, things are going well at this moment in time. We just need to keep working hard. The usual thing you should say when you start coming out with comments like that. The next game normally comes round, it's a result goes against you. So I would rather things like that are kept in the house. But listen, their confidence is high, and it's good to see Hearts, because in the summer when they signed a lot of players, I was thinking how these guys going to gel together and knit together. But certainly there's been a lot of hard work during pre-season, and listen, the league doesn't lie, they've been fantastic.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, across at Ibrox. 4 goals for Rangers, but the manager, Steven Gerrard, wanted more.
I want as many goals as we can get. I want to try and create a team that's ruthless and relentless, and we wasn't today. We deserve more goals. I thought the first offside goal was on. I haven't looked at it. Kyle's is offside by a bit, but I don't want to just get to a 3-0 lead and take the foot off the gas. You know, if we want to be a good team and a successful team, we have to be at it all the time. It was patchy today, the performance. There was some really good, strong individual performances within it, but as a team, we can play better.
Yep, that's the type of thing you want to hear from your manager, Ruffy.
Yeah, of course, you know, everybody wants to score 5 and 6 goals, and I think when you do that, it sets out a mark to everybody else. I think that's the point he's trying to make. You know, if you, even you're not at the game, if you just see that scoreline 6-0, and you've got them next week, you know they're on fire, you know they're scoring goals. So I always think that's a good advantage if you can rack them in.
Yeah, of course, a big week for Rangers. We'll get Barry's thoughts on Villarreal on Wednesday. But the manager, quietly confident.
Quietly confident we can go there and get a result. We're playing against a good team with very technically gifted players, and we respect Villarreal, but we're the underdogs. We've got nothing, you know, we go in and try and give a good show of ourselves, and I'll try and pick a team that's organised, hard to play against, but carries the threat going the other way as well.
Barry, do you share that confidence?
Yeah, listen, what you said, you can't go over there and be open. They're definitely a decent team. They're technically really good, as you would expect for a Spanish team. So he's going to go over there with a game plan and try and keep it as tight as possible, and maybe nick a goal in a counter-attack or for a set piece. But the way that he set Rangers up for the start of the season, it looks to me they're not going to concede a lot of goals. So that's a start. But listen, I've played over there. I know the team's going to be different, obviously, but listen, you've got a chance. It's a game of football. The confidence must be high for a good result against Dundee at the weekend there, and as I said, defensively they're a lot more solid than they were last year, so they can go over for me and get a point at least.
Yeah, I feel as if these games coming up, Ruffy, are a real gauge of where Rangers are at. The Celtic game didn't actually perform the way quite a lot of people want them to, but that was a real test. I don't think it's, no disrespect to Dundee, I don't think Dundee were any great test. If anything, that's a confidence builder. But this one here, as Barry said, if they can take a little of the spirit of the 2008 team and block Villarreal out.
Yeah, well, I think Steven Gerrard knows that this is another quality side, you know, and if you look at the European games that Rangers have played this year, apart from away from home in particular, Alan McGregor's been the star man. In every game, he's been outstanding, and he'll have to be the same again because they're obviously going to get chances. But I'm sure, as Barry said, if they were to come away with a draw, that would be a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, in contrast, just talking about Dundee there, they are going to appeal 100% that red card to Kenny Miller.
We'll appeal the decision, 100% we'll appeal the decision. Kenny's won the ball, and yeah, he's gone through, his momentum's gone through and caught the player, but you know, there was a lot of yellow cards shown today, and I'm not so sure that, you know, it was a game worthy of that amount of yellow cards. I spoke to Kenny, he says he absolutely got the ball. Yes, he did catch the man and follow through, but there was several challenges like that today, and the yellow card wasn't brandished. So we'll definitely appeal it.
Couldn't make it up for Kenny Miller, could you? Your old mate going back to Ibrox, hoping he's going to get a good reception, and in the end, when he gets the red card.
Yeah. It's one of the intentional. I don't think he's going to intentionally hurt him, but he's caught him. We know ourselves now. If you give me your studs up you're running the risk of getting sent off. And he's done that. I don't think he's in to hurt him. He's maybe took a bit of the ball, but if you slow it down and watch it, he's caught the man, definitely.
Okay, when you look at the table at the bottom, Neil McCann knows he's under pressure.
I don't mind pressure. You know, I'll take the heat, the results. You have to as a manager, you have to be big enough and brave enough to take it. It's the environment we all live in. We all know it's a results business. Disappointed for the fans, but I just felt today that, again, was just another example of it. We gave ourselves so much to do.
So Hibs, Hamilton, Kilmarnock and Livingston on the horizon, Ruffy, for Dundee. They need to pick up points somewhere.
Well, he'll be looking at the fixture list and he'll be hoping that they're not going to be playing a team of Rangers standard, and he will
Hibs,
expect.
Hamilton, Kilmarnock,
I
standard.
think he'll have a better chance of beating them than he will Rangers at Ibrox, and he will believe that in other games he's played, his team have had chances, but he's got to stop losing the kind of goals that they're losing. So all I'm saying is, you know, that when he comes to these games, he'll expect his players to win a better performance.
I could see 3 points maybe out of the next 12. Is that enough to save his job?
No 3 points, is it? No, you have to do better than that.
I can't see him taking anything off Hibs.
I think
Hamilton, yes. Kilmarnock, no. Livingston.
But Peter, I'll go back to, have you watched that game on Saturday against Rangers? Defensively, some of the mistakes they're making.
Yeah.
It's
The Kasunga mistake is something that's happening regularly with him.
Yeah, it's got to be a worry for Neil, and I'm sure he's trying to work that in the training ground. But see, once they go out there, Peter, you've got to trust him not to make mistakes, and just it's basic defending that's letting them down. It's a worry. Yeah, even Kent's goal, he ran through a group of players. Well, sometimes you've got to take one for the team and make a foul, then get a free kick, and then hopefully the goalkeeper will dig you out. But the centre half, got his chest, and you've just got to clear your lines there. You can't take any chances.
Yeah, okay, he's under pressure, he knows it, we don't need to tell him. Hibs 3, Kilmarnock 2, Stevie Mallon, a free kick you would have been proud of, Ruffy.
It was fantastic. You know, when you see players lining up to take free kicks, you can generally tell he's going to curl it, you know, sort of a left to right or opposite, and I didn't see that one coming. That one right round the outside of the wall into the faraway corner. That was a fantastic strike. There's not many people could do that.
There's been some great goals this weekend. Never mind Mallon, Greg Stewart's was a cracker as well. Greg Stewart's just seemed to have fitted right in there.
Yeah, I mean, he scored one up at his old club. He was on loan at last year, Aberdeen. But for me, he's playing in a different position for Kilmarnock. He's playing through the middle or just off the main striker, which I think suits him.
Yeah.
When he was up at Aberdeen, he was playing out in the wide area, whether that be in the left or the right. For me, he's in amongst it. He's good on the ball, technically very good. And what a goal! What a goal he scored against Hibs.
And again, 2 penalty decisions, Ruffy. The first one, Kirk Broadfoot, nothing but sympathy for him. He goes to kick the ball. The boy McLaren gets his ankle in the way. They get the penalty. Canberra scores. I thought Broadfoot should have had a penalty in the last minute.
Again, it's one of these ones. He's not done it deliberately. He's just swung his boot at the ball and he's caught the guy in the back. And the referee's right in line with it, and he just sees the contact and he gives a penalty. It really, it's not a stonewall penalty. You know, it's a tough one to take.
Yeah.
But there is contact, and it's
not a penalty. There's not. You watch the guy. The guy puts his foot in between Kirk's, both his legs. But it's a hard one for the ref. He's got a split decision. He only sees Kirk kicking him, but. If you says about Kirk Broadfoot, he's definitely had a penalty in the Hibs area. Yeah,
I think it was a penalty against the one Ambrose. But I wonder, you know, Alan Burrows, the chief executive of Motherwell, has mentioned the fact that, in fact, general manager, I'm doing him a disservice. He's mentioned the fact that VAR will come to Scotland. I think we need it. I think we need to find the money to get it in there. I wonder if the VAR would still have looked at that Kirk Broadfoot kick as soon as he gets contact with McLaren. I think they still would have given him a penalty.
Yeah, if VAR is watching that, it's definitely not a penalty for Hibs. There's no doubt. We need to find. No, it's definitely not a penalty. So we agree to disagree? Yeah, I don't think it's a penalty. I don't. But we need to.
Give us a call.
I thought there was contact. Yeah. If you're a ref, you see, the sooner the VAR comes in, because we don't have the privilege of seeing it 3 and 4 times. We don't have the privilege of slowing it down, looking at a wee frame, this guy's got to make a decision when he sees contact and the player going down. He can't stop and say, oh, wait a minute, give me 15 seconds to maybe make up my mind here.
Yeah, well,
if he does that, then he's going to get pillared. He's got to make a decision, and I think the sooner it comes in, the better, because I think we're now falling into the circumstance now of every incident that we're looking at, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're analysing them. I know that's what
Well,
you're
that's
paid
what the
for. I know.
It's a football show.
Yeah, but some of the stuff that people are coming out with, like Brendan Rodgers came out with the sham one, there wasn't much in that.
Yeah.
You know, what is he seeing that we're not seeing?
Well, let's not discuss that because I haven't got to that
No,
yet.
I just don't
I don't mean him. I mean people are getting in the papers now saying things and putting pressure under. The referees are under so much pressure already.
I think Burrows is perfect. We need to find a solution. We need to find the money to bring it in, because there's far too many decisions going against teams. And I can understand why managers and even players at that getting into trouble, because they're obviously knowing that they've not conceded a penalty. So we need to find a solution. The only solution is bringing it in.
Yeah, OK, St Johnstone won, Aberdeen won. Again, you know, OK, St Johnstone took the lead. It was a fantastic free kick from Niall McGinn to equalise, but I thought Aberdeen should have had a penalty late on as well. Gary Mackay-Steven was the most dangerous player Aberdeen have. He had so many chances, but I thought he was fouled in the last minute or so.
Yep, he's looking on decent form this season. He might have been disappointed not get a sniff of the Scotland squad. But again, it's a penalty. You can see his reaction. The boy, even you see his facial reaction when he slides in to try and take the ball. It's definitely a penalty. Again, Aberdeen will be disappointed.
It's
It is a penalty. It's a penalty.
Smashed into the back of his calf.
I thought the boy, from the referee's right in line with it, Willie Collins right in line with it, and Mackay-Steven's going that way, and the defender's coming this way. If you look at it, the guy touches it very minimum, and the ball goes that way.
Yeah.
If it was Mackay-Steven that would have carried on, it's a small touch of the ball.
No, it's a penalty.
Again, the referee's got to make a decision.
Yeah.
Did you say it was a penalty the first time you saw it?
Aye. Yep.
And what about when you saw it the next time?
It's definitely 100%.
Yeah, that's what the opinion is, and that's what the referee's got to make his mind up.
It is difficult because they have got a split second.
Yeah, but listen, everybody knows it's difficult. Who cares? You look at the thing, you think, is it a penalty? He says
I would congratulate the player who jumped over the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
that well done to him. You know, obviously, if he
could have
stood
dived
his
right
feet,
into him.
It'd have been a penalty.
Yeah.
But he never. And
I wonder if his manager said to him, "What are you doing diving over the keeper? You should have ploughed right into him."
If that's me, I'm running into the keeper.
There you are. That's more about you as a person than anything else. Anyway, 1-1 it was. Livingston, if you're going to win a game, why not win it with an ex-Partick Thistle player, Ruffy, that you let go, who hit an absolute screamer?
Yeah, that's what we miss. That's the quality of player that we're missing, and it was a tremendous strike, and he did it with Partick Thistle on numerous occasions. That's why they've obviously taken him.
You're a good left peg, Stephen Wallace. He's a tricky
he's got
player
a work
as well.
rate as well. He's got a fantastic work rate. You know, for such a small guy, he puts himself a bit, and he comes up with 8 goals as well.
Yep, OK, it's not often that we leave Celtic to last, but nevertheless, it was Friday night. I have to say, I don't know, I agree with you, Rav. I don't know what Brendan Rodgers is talking about. Olivier Ncham, it's a stonewall second yellow card. He's got to go.
Yeah, if you're on a booking, you can't go and you can't dive into a challenge. You maybe go and stand up, you know what I mean, and run beside him, but you can't do that because you're running the risk you're going to get sent off. I mean, he doesn't go in and really hurt the player. I can see where maybe certain people are coming from, but if you go and commit yourself to that, there's only one thing that's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's a sending off.
What about Celtic at the moment, Ruffy? They cannot break down teams. I mean, this is... Listen, you could dedicate an entire programme to where the failings. I can link it all back to the summer, but quite simply, they have maybe James Forrest, who looks dangerous enough to go past a man and open things up. But elsewhere, I'm sorry, I mean, they just play this laborious in front of 10 players, trying to break it down, and sometimes it doesn't work. And another case was a team at the bottom who couldn't buy a point.
Yeah, but I think you've got to give them a benefit of the doubt. They were down to 10 men. You know, you would have thought Celtic had kept 11 on the park, they might have edged that one out. But you're right, because even when Dembele and Edouard and Griffiths was there last year, there was no Celtic striker scoring 20 goals. Now, I don't know if that's happened before, that they've all been running about 14, 15, something like that. I think, who was it? Was it Roderick? had a few from midfield.
Yeah.
But certainly the goal scoring chances are there, but they don't seem to be taking them. I think somebody did a league table that that's the worst in so many years of goal scoring at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, okay. Just before we finish, lads, what about the predictions, by the way? It's been a fantastic weekend. Let's have a look and see how it's all panned out. Oh, Ruffy, look at that. The legend still there out in front, but I've joined him there, Ruffy. I had a great weekend.
Yeah, you certainly did. You get a couple of results right, which makes all the difference. But we're still quite close. There's nobody running away with it.
I'll tell you, it's neck and neck, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. Get us a chance to claw a few points back, but we've got the weekend, a big weekend coming up. I'm sure I can go out in the lead again.
Yeah. I mean, is it fair to say, and I don't want to try and put you in a corner, but are you saying at this point that you think you can win the league yourself in the Predictor League?
Yeah, you've got to be confident, of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's given us a wee Jimmy Dunn there, Robbie. He's given us a I can win the league in the predictors here. It's 5 points for a correct score, Robbie. 2 if you get the result right, and then that's it, isn't it?
It's a mark of a person's character when he goes 20 points behind, and then you've got to dig yourself out of it, you know. But it's not that stage yet for any of us, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, a couple of things that I need to get your thoughts on, guys. One of them, of course, Griffiths not happy with Alex McLeish because Alex says Naismith's in from the start. Has he got a point?
I have a point, but I wouldn't be telling the press. You know, I would keep it to myself. I don't know where the players are coming from.
You're turning into a director now, by the way.
No,
you are part of it all. You're part of the media. Why shouldn't he tell us?
I don't see that's doing himself any favours.
Well, he said I'll just have to change his mind, though.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
But that's what they do. They put one bit in, you know, I'm not too happy about it, and then the next bit is...
Steady yourself. Were you not Football Writers Player of the Year?
Yes,
now you're savaging them. That's the type of person
all I'm
you
saying,
are.
if it had been me and I wasn't if it was me and I wasn't happy about it, I'd keep it to myself. And as he said, I'll buckle down and do it. But why go and tell everybody?
Well, for me, I'm thinking he's shown the right attitude. He's shown a bit of fighting spirit. I don't mind that. That's him showing, right, you know what, I'm going to work hard in training, I'm going to prove you that I should be number one striker.
And do you know what, Barry, you said something else that I want to pick up on. You were absolutely spot on. If Gary Mackay-Steven could only keep doing that on a consistent level, we could do with someone with his trickery at international level. I'm not sure. I think at times he just fades out of games, but if he could do that, that would be great.
He's got to bring consistency. There's no doubt in his ability. Running with the ball, he's got a trick up his sleeve, pacey, and for me, he started off the season in fire for Aberdeen. He's now need to continue that for a number of games, and then he's got to be in with a shout getting in the squad. And
the last point here is Zlatan scores his 500th career club goal, and I think it's internationals as well thrown in there, Ruffy. But boy, what a goal, albeit a losing goal for Galaxy against Toronto in the MLS. It's worthy of somebody looking at it if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I have seen it. I thought it was very acrobatic for a man his size. But it just shows the improvisation that he's got, you know, so far ahead of everybody else. But it's a shame it wasn't a winning goal.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, thanks to Barry and Ruffy. You can give us your view on Twitter at PLZ Soccer, facebook.com/PLZ Soccer, and of course YouTube as well. Give us your thoughts on Barry's new top. Spent a lot of money on it. Ruffy and I have our doubts about it, by the way. I'm not sure beige is coming back in yet. It was in when Starsky and Hutch were on the telly, but make your own decision on that. Tomorrow we'll have another guy whose gear is questionable. Stephen O'Donnell is going to join us, the Killie right back, and of course the Scotland right back as well. He'll have a few words to say. We'll get his chat. Join us if you can on the Football Show. Thanks for watching.
Well, I'll think about. I'm a parent now, so I think about my own children. So I was one of the ones that always said, you know, and I believe it, that Scotland is an open, welcoming, diverse country. That my children would somehow grow up in a post-racial, post-religious world where we didn't see colour, and I had hope in that. So my boy, when he was 9, we saw this thing on Facebook. You know, do this test with your kid. See if they see colour. So we tried it. So my son Adam, his best friend at school, is a young Jewish boy called Zach. And we tried this. We said, Adam, if you were standing opposite Zach, what would be the biggest difference? What would be the biggest difference? And he said, oh, Zach's taller than me. I'm shorter than him. Anything else? Zach's got blue eyes, I've got brown eyes. Anything else? Zach's Jewish, I'm Muslim. Anything else? I can't think of anything else. I said, no, think hard, anything else? He goes, oh yeah, Zach's better at football than me. And I said, anything else? Think colour. And I said, think colour, and he says, colour? Oh yeah, Zach's got brown hair, I've got black hair. He didn't see skin colour. Fast forward 6 months, he starts a new football club. I come home from the Scottish Parliament one night, and my wife says, Adam's not in a good mood, he's not been happy since he came back from the football club, he's not talking, he's not communicating, he's been upset, something clearly happened at the football. So I go in to see him, and he refuses to talk to me, and I said, right, Tad, just tell me, what was it? And he said, when I was at the football, 2 people in my team said they didn't want to pass me because I was only packing in the team. That broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart, because he's someone that is Scottish just like anybody else. Glasgow's his home, Scotland's his home. He knows no other identity. He doesn't think of the motherland, as some people might have said of previous generations. And seeing your child experience racism and seeing that contrast between 6 months before and now was a real eye-opener for me. So it has consequences. I know of children who get called terrorists at school or too scared to go to school. I know people that have had racist incidents at the train station. They're worried about their sisters, their mothers, their wives in the train station because they might get their headscarves pulled from their head. People shouldn't have to think twice about going out to the shops or going to the park or going to their work. There are some people in our communities who sadly have to think twice about these things. That's not acceptable.